Please let me go. Please. I beg you, sir.
The fluorescent lights above the gas station buzzed like dying insects. Maya stood at pump 7 with her hand shaking so badly she could barely hold the nozzle. Her ex-boyfriend's car idled 3 pumps down. He hadn't seen her yet. She had maybe 30 seconds before he looked up from his phone. She'd blocked him 6 weeks ago after he showed up at her apartment for the 4th time. After he followed her to the grocery store. After he sent her 47 messages in one night explaining why they belonged together. The restraining order was supposed to be processed this week. It wasn't fast enough. His car door opened. Maya's breath caught. She turned away and pretended to check her phone, but her hands wouldn't cooperate. The screen stayed black. She could feel him looking now. Feel his attention lock onto her like crosshairs. Maya. She didn't answer, didn't turn. The nozzle clicked off. $42. She fumbled with the cap and her keys slipped through her fingers and hit the concrete with a metallic clatter. Maya, I know you hear me. Footsteps, getting closer. She grabbed her keys and straightened, and that's when she saw him. A man standing beside a black sedan at pump 5. Tall. Dark coat despite the mild evening. His hair was pushed back from his face, and his eyes were the kind of dark that absorbed light instead of reflecting it. He was watching her, not her ex, her. Their eyes met. Maya made a decision, born of pure panic. She walked toward him quickly, not running. Running would make her ex chase. She moved like she had somewhere to be, and when she reached the stranger, she did something insane. Hey, she said loud enough for her ex to hear. Sorry I'm late. The stranger didn't move, didn't smile. His expression remained perfectly neutral, but his gaze shifted past her shoulder to where her ex had stopped walking. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then the stranger's hand moved to the small of her back. Light pressure, possessive without being invasive. You're not late, he said. His voice was quiet, controlled. It didn't match the danger in his eyes. Maya's ex stopped 10 feet away. Who the fuck is this? The stranger's fingers pressed slightly harder against her spine. A warning, or reassurance, she couldn't tell which. Someone you should walk away from, the stranger said. He didn't raise his voice, didn't move toward her ex. He just stood there with his hand on Maya and his gaze steady and cold. Her ex hesitated. He was 6'2" and used to intimidating people, but something about this man made him reconsider. Maybe it was the stillness. Maybe it was the way the stranger looked at him like he was already deciding how much effort it would take to break him. This is bullshit, her ex muttered, but he was already backing up. You'll call me, you always do. He got in his car. The engine started. He peeled out of the parking lot with his music too loud and his tires screeching. Maya exhaled. Her knees felt weak. The stranger's hand dropped from her back, and suddenly the space between them felt enormous. Thank you, she said, her voice cracked. I'm sorry, I didn't know what else to do. You chose well. She looked up at him. He wasn't smiling, wasn't trying to comfort her. He was just stating a fact. I'm Maya. I know. Her stomach dropped. What? Your ex said your name. Right, of course. She laughed, but it sounded brittle even to her own ears. Right, sorry, I'm not thinking straight. The stranger tilted his head slightly, studying her. He'll come back. I have a restraining order, or I will. It's being processed. Paper doesn't stop men like him. Maya wrapped her arms around herself. The October air suddenly felt colder. What am I supposed to do? The stranger reached into his coat and pulled out a card. Plain black with a phone number embossed in silver. Nothing else. He held it between 2 fingers. If he comes back, call this number. Who are you? Someone who doesn't like men who follow women to gas stations. He placed the card in her hand. His fingers were warm, calloused. When he pulled away, she felt the absence like a draft. I should go, she said. He nodded once. She walked back to her car on legs that didn't feel entirely stable. When she glanced in her rearview mirror, the stranger was gone. The black sedan pulled out onto the street in the opposite direction. She sat in her car for 5 minutes trying to calm her breathing. The card sat on her passenger seat. She drove home. Maya worked the closing shift at Mercy General Hospital 3 nights a week. She was a nurse in the emergency department, which meant she saw the worst of people on their worst days. Overdoses, stabbings, car accidents, domestic violence cases that made her stomach turn. Tonight was quiet, too quiet. It was almost midnight and they'd only had 2 patients. A kid with a broken arm from skateboarding and an elderly woman with chest pain who turned out to have severe indigestion. Maya was restocking supplies in Trauma 2 when her phone buzzed. Unknown number ***. I can see you from here. Her blood went cold. She looked toward the ambulance bay doors. The parking lot beyond was dark except for the overhead lights. She couldn't see anyone. Another buzz. Unknown number ***. You look tired. You should take better care of yourself. Maya's hands started shaking. She locked her phone and shoved it in her scrub pocket. Her shift supervisor was at the nurse's station. She could tell him, call security. But what would she say? That her ex was texting her? They'd tell her to call the police. The police would tell her the restraining order wasn't finalized yet and there wasn't much they could do about text messages. Her phone buzzed again. She pulled it out. Unknown number ***. I just want to talk. 5 minutes. I'm parked by your car. Maya's heart slammed against her ribs. Her car was in the employee lot behind the hospital. If he was there, he knew when her shift ended. He'd been watching her schedule. She thought about the black card in her wallet. She'd kept it. She didn't know why. Maybe because the stranger had looked at her ex like he was something that could be erased with minimal effort. Maybe because for 30 seconds she'd felt safer than she had in months. Maya went to the bathroom, locked herself in a stall, pulled out the card. The silver numbers gleamed under the fluorescent lights. She dialed. It rang once. Yes. Not hello, not who is this, just yes, like he'd been expecting her. It's Maya, from the gas station. Silence, then, where are you? Mercy General, I'm working, he's here, he's texting me. He says he's by my car. Stay inside. My shift ends at 1. I'll be there in 20 minutes. The line went dead. Maya sat on the closed toilet lid and tried to breathe. She didn't know this man, didn't know his name, didn't know anything except that he'd made her ex back down with a single look and that his voice on the phone sounded like a promise. She went back to work, restocked trauma bays, checked medication counts, avoided looking at her phone. At 12:45, she told her supervisor she wasn't feeling well. He sent her home early. She walked to the employee lot with her keys, threaded through her fingers like a weapon. Her ex's car was parked 3 spots from hers. He was leaning against the hood with his arms crossed. When he saw her, he smiled. There she is. Maya stopped walking. Her car was 15 feet away. She could run for it, get inside, lock the doors. But he was faster and he'd grab her before she got the door open. I just want to talk, he said. He pushed off the hood and started toward her. You've been ignoring me. Leave me alone, Derek. We need to fix this. We're good together, you know we are. I filed a restraining order. His expression darkened. That's fucked up, Maya. I haven't done anything wrong. You've been stalking me for 6 weeks. I'm not stalking you. I'm trying to save our relationship. He was 10 feet away now. Maya's grip tightened on her keys. Then headlights swept across the parking lot. A black sedan pulled in smooth and silent. It stopped between Maya and Derek. The driver's door opened. The stranger from the gas station stepped out. He looked exactly the same. Dark coat, dark eyes, calm. He glanced at Maya first, a quick assessment. Then his attention shifted to Derek. Get in your car, the stranger said. Derek laughed. Who the fuck are you supposed to be? Someone you owe money to. The laughter died. Derek's face went pale. What? 47,000. 3 months overdue. Maya's mind reeled. Derek owed someone money. $47,000. I don't know what you're talking about. Derek said, but his voice had lost its confidence. The stranger reached into his coat. Derek flinched, but the stranger only pulled out his phone. He turned the screen toward Derek. Maya couldn't see what was on it, but Derek could. His expression crumbled. That's not, I can explain. You borrowed from one of my associates. You signed paperwork. You haven't made a single payment. I'm working on it. I just need more time. The stranger put his phone away. You're out of time. Derek took a step back. Look, man, I'll get you the money, I swear. Just give me 2 weeks. You had 3 months. Please. The stranger moved. One moment he was standing by his car. The next he was in Derek's space with his hand wrapped around Derek's throat. He didn't slam him against a car. Didn't shout. He just held him there with enough pressure to make breathing difficult. You've been following her, the stranger said quietly. Texting her, parking outside her workplace. Derek's eyes were wide. He clawed at the stranger's wrist, but it was like trying to move steel. That ends now. Okay, Derek gasped. Okay. The stranger's grip tightened. If I see you near her again, I won't be this polite. He released Derek. Derek collapsed against his car, coughing and clutching his throat. The stranger stepped back and adjusted his coat like nothing had happened. Leave, he said. Derek scrambled into his car. The engine roared to life. He reversed so fast he nearly hit a light post. Then he was gone, taillights disappearing into the night. Maya stood frozen. Her heart was racing. Her hands were shaking. The stranger turned to look at her. Are you hurt? She shook her head. Words wouldn't come. Get in your car. Follow me. Where? Somewhere safe. I don't even know your name. He studied her for a moment. Jin. Jin. Follow me, Maya. He got back in his sedan. The engine purred. Maya looked at her car, looked at the empty parking lot, looked at the space where Derek had been standing. She got in her car. She followed him. Jin led her to a building in the financial district, all glass and steel and dark windows. He parked in an underground garage and waited while she pulled in beside him. When she got out, he was already walking toward an elevator. She hurried to catch up. Where are we? My building. The elevator doors opened. He pressed a button for the 20th floor. The doors closed. They rode in silence. Maya watched the numbers climb. Does Derek really owe you money? Yes. $47,000. Yes. What happens if he doesn't pay? Jin's gaze slid to her. He'll pay. The elevator stopped. The doors opened onto a hallway with only one door. Jin unlocked it and held it open. Maya hesitated for exactly 2 seconds, then she walked inside. The apartment was enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, minimalist furniture, dark wood and leather and cold marble. It looked like the kind of place that cost more per month than she made in a year. Sit, Jin said. Maya sat on the sofa. Jin disappeared into the kitchen. She heard water running. He returned with a glass and handed it to her. She drank. It was cold and clean, and she hadn't realized how thirsty she was. Thank you, she said. Jin sat across from her, not close. He left space between them like he understood she needed it. Derek won't bother you again. How can you be sure? Because he's more afraid of me than he is obsessed with you. Maya set the glass down. Her hands were still shaking. What do you do? I mean, who are you? Someone who handles debts. That's not an answer. Jin's expression didn't change. It's the only answer you need. Maya looked around the apartment, at the expensive furniture, the art on the walls, the view that probably cost a fortune. You're not just some debt collector. No. Then what? Someone people don't cross twice. The words hung in the air. Maya should have been afraid. She should have gotten up and left and called the police and reported everything. But sitting here in this quiet apartment with this calm, dangerous man, she felt safer than she had in months. Why did you help me? She asked. I don't like men who hurt women. You don't even know me. Jin leaned forward slightly. His elbows rested on his knees. His gaze was steady. I know enough. What does that mean? It means you work 60-hour weeks at a hospital saving people who don't deserve it. It means you drive a 12-year-old car because you send money to your mother every month. It means when a man harassed you for 6 weeks, you filed a legal restraining order instead of asking someone to hurt him. You're exactly the kind of person men like Derek target because you won't fight back the way he deserves. Maya's throat tightened. You looked into me. I make it my business to know who I'm protecting. I didn't ask you to protect me. You called me. She had. She'd called him and he'd come, and now Derek was gone, and she was sitting in a stranger's apartment at 1 in the morning trying to figure out if she'd made the best decision of her life or the worst. I should go, she said. Jin stood. I'll take you home. I have my car. Leave it here. I'll have someone bring it to you tomorrow. Maya stood too. I can drive. You're exhausted and shaking. I'll take you home. It wasn't a question. It wasn't even really an offer. It was a statement of fact. Maya was too tired to argue. She nodded. They took the elevator down in silence. Jin's car was exactly what she expected. Black, expensive, immaculate. She gave him her address, and he drove through empty streets with the kind of precision that suggested he'd navigated this city 1,000 times. When he pulled up outside her apartment building, she didn't get out right away. What happens now? She asked. You go back to work, back to your life. Derek won't bother you. And if he does? He won't. Jin's certainty should have been arrogant, but it wasn't. It was just fact. Maya unbuckled her seatbelt. Thank you, she said, for everything. Jin nodded once. She got out, walked to her building, used her key. When she looked back, his car was still there, waiting. She went inside and climbed the stairs to her second-floor apartment. Only when she was inside with the door locked did she hear his engine pull away. Maya kicked off her shoes, dropped her bag, sat on her sofa in the dark. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number ***. Your car will be delivered at noon. The keys will be with the building manager. She saved the number. She labeled it Jin. She fell asleep on the sofa, still in her scrubs. 3 days passed. No texts from Derek, no calls, no car following her to work. Maya checked her mirrors obsessively, but he was gone. It was like he'd evaporated. She thought about Jin constantly, about the way he'd moved, the way he'd looked at Derek like he was calculating exactly how much force it would take to break him. The apartment, the car, the certainty in his voice when he said Derek wouldn't be back. Maya wanted to call him. She didn't have a reason. She just wanted to hear his voice. She didn't call. On the 4th day, her supervisor called her into his office. We need to talk, he said. Maya sat. What's wrong? Derek Grant was admitted to the ER last night. Broken ribs, collapsed lung. Someone beat him pretty badly. Maya's stomach dropped. Is he okay? He'll live. He's asking for you. Absolutely not. Her supervisor held up his hands. I'm not asking you to see him. I'm just telling you what happened. The police might want to talk to you. He mentioned your name. What did he say? That you know who did this. Maya's pulse spiked. I don't. Her supervisor studied her. Maya, if you're in some kind of trouble. I'm not. Derek and I broke up. He's been harassing me. I filed a restraining order. I don't know anything about what happened to him. It wasn't entirely a lie. She didn't know, but she could guess. Okay, her supervisor said. If the police come, I'll send them your way. Maya nodded. She left his office and went to the bathroom and locked herself in a stall. Her hands were shaking again. She pulled out her phone. She called Jin. He answered on the first ring. Yes. Did you hurt him? Silence. Jin. He was warned. You put him in the hospital. He was parked outside your apartment building at 3 in the morning. He had a knife in his glove box and your work schedule printed out. He wasn't going to stop. Maya closed her eyes. You could have called the police. The police would have done nothing. So you beat him unconscious. I made sure he understands the cost of ignoring my warning. Maya pressed her forehead against the stall door. The police are going to question me. Tell them the truth. You don't know anything. He told them I know who did this. He's guessing. He has no proof. This is insane. This is over, Jin said quietly. Derek won't come near you again. He won't text. He won't call. He won't drive past your building. He's done. You sound very sure. I am. Maya's breath shuddered. I didn't ask you to do this. You asked me to make him stop. Not like this. Then how? Jin's voice didn't rise, but something sharp entered it. You filed legal paperwork. He ignored it. You blocked him. He found you. You changed your routine. He followed you. Men like Derek don't stop because you ask nicely. They stop when the cost becomes too high. Maya knew he was right. She hated that he was right. I have to go, she said. If the police ask about me, tell them nothing. I don't know anything about you. Good. The line went dead. Maya sat in the bathroom stall for 10 minutes trying to process. Derek was in the hospital. Jin had put him there. The police were going to ask questions, and she was caught in the middle of something she didn't understand. She went back to work. The police came 2 hours later. The detective's name was Park. He was in his 50s with tired eyes and a cheap suit. He sat across from Maya in the hospital break room with a notepad and a pen. Derek Grant says you know who assaulted him, Detective Park said. I don't. He specifically mentioned your name, said you'd been in contact with someone dangerous. Derek and I broke up 2 months ago. He's been harassing me. I filed a restraining order. Park nodded. I saw the paperwork, still pending. He followed me to work, sent me threatening messages, parked outside my apartment. Did you hire someone to hurt him? No. Do you know anyone who would have done this on your behalf? Maya thought about Jin's hand around Derek's throat, the cold certainty in his voice, the black card with the silver number. No, she said. Park studied her. Ms. Rivera, if you're being threatened or coerced. I'm not. Derek had significant injuries, broken ribs, internal bleeding. Whoever did this knew what they were doing. I'm sorry that happened to him, but I don't know anything about it. Park wrote something in his notepad. If you think of anything, call me. He handed her a card. Maya took it. Park left. She threw his card in the trash. Her shift ended at 6. She drove home expecting to see police cars, FBI agents, something, but her street was quiet. Her building was normal. She climbed the stairs to her apartment and unlocked the door. Jin was sitting on her sofa. Maya froze. How did you get in here? Your lock is easy to pick. That's not an answer. Jin stood. He looked the same. Dark clothes, calm eyes, like breaking into her apartment was perfectly reasonable. You need better security, he said. You need to leave. The police talked to you. It wasn't a question. Maya closed the door, locked it, dropped her bag. Yes. What did you tell them? Nothing, because I don't know anything. Jin nodded. Good. This isn't good. None of this is good. You broke into my apartment. To make sure you were safe. I was safe until you put my ex-boyfriend in the hospital. He was planning to hurt you. Maya's hands clenched into fists. You don't know that. He had a knife, Maya. He had your schedule. He was escalating. If I hadn't stopped him, you'd be in the ER right now instead of him. The words hit like a slap. Maya sat down hard on the arm of her sofa. Jin stayed where he was, giving her space, waiting. I don't know what to do with this, she said quietly. You don't have to do anything. It's handled. You can't just handle things by breaking people's ribs. I can, I do. Maya looked up at him. Who are you? Jin moved to the window, looked out at the street below. I run operations for an organization that handles high-value transactions, money laundering, debt collection, asset protection. When someone borrows from us and doesn't pay, we retrieve what we're owed. You're a criminal. Yes. The bluntness of it was almost funny. No deflection, no justification, just yes. And Derek borrowed money from your organization. From one of my associates. I took over his account when he started missing payments. So you were already looking for him when I called you at the gas station. Yes. And you used me to find him. Jin turned from the window, his gaze locked onto hers. No, I used him to protect you. That's not. When I saw him following you, I knew what kind of man he was. I could have collected his debt and left you to deal with him alone. I didn't. I made sure he understood that touching you would cost him more than money. Maya's throat tightened. Why? Because you didn't deserve what he was doing to you. You don't even know me. Jin crossed the room, sat on the coffee table in front of her, close enough that she could see the faint scar above his left eyebrow, close enough that his presence filled her entire awareness. I know you work yourself to exhaustion helping people, he said quietly. I know you send half your paycheck to your mother in Arizona because she can't afford her medical bills. I know you haven't dated anyone since Derek because you're afraid. I know you're kind and smart and you think you have to fix everything yourself. How do you know all that? I pay attention. Maya's pulse was racing. This is crazy. Yes. I should tell you to leave. You should. But you won't go. Jin's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Not until I know you're safe. Maya's breath caught. They were too close. She could smell his cologne, cedar and smoke. She should pull away, stand up, put distance between them. She didn't move. What happens now? She asked. You go back to your life. I go back to mine. And Derek stops existing as a problem. The police might come back. They won't find anything. You sound sure. I am. Maya searched his face, looking for cracks, for doubt, for anything human. All she saw was certainty. I don't understand you, she said. You don't have to. You hurt people for a living. Yes. You broke into my apartment. Yes. But you helped me. Jin's hand lifted. His fingers brushed her jaw. Light, careful. Not everything I do is calculated. Maya's heart slammed against her ribs. What does that mean? It means, when I saw you at that gas station, I made a choice that had nothing to do with debt collection. What choice? That you were worth protecting. His thumb traced her cheekbone. Maya should pull away, should tell him this was inappropriate, that he was a criminal, that she barely knew him. But sitting here with his hand on her face, and his dark eyes steady on hers, she felt something she hadn't felt in months. Safe. You're dangerous, she whispered. Yes. I should stay away from you. Yes. But I don't want to. Jin's hand fell away. He stood. Then don't. He walked to her door, paused, looked back. Lock this behind me. Get a better deadbolt. If anything feels wrong, call me. Then he was gone. Maya sat on her sofa in the silence. Her face still tingled where he'd touched her. Her apartment felt too empty now, too quiet. She locked the door. She thought about getting a better deadbolt. She fell asleep thinking about cedar and smoke. A week passed, then two. Derek didn't call, didn't text. The restraining order was finalized, but Maya didn't need it anymore. Derek had dropped off the face of the earth. Detective Park called once, asked if she'd remembered anything. She said no, he didn't call again. Maya tried to focus on work, on her life, on normal things, but Jin had cracked something open inside her, a door she'd kept locked since Derek started following her, since she'd started being afraid. She thought about calling him. She didn't have a reason, no emergency, no crisis, just the desire to hear his voice. She didn't call. 3 weeks after Jin broke into her apartment, Maya was leaving work when she saw the black sedan, parked across the street, engine running. Her heart jumped. She walked toward it, the passenger window lowered. Get in, Jin said. Maya got in. The interior smelled like leather and that cedar smoke scent that clung to him. Jin pulled into traffic. He didn't explain, didn't ask. He just drove. Where are we going? Maya asked. Dinner. You're kidnapping me for dinner. I'm asking you to dinner. You got in the car. Maya couldn't help it. She laughed. This is the worst invitation I've ever received. You're here. They drove to a restaurant in the old district. Small, intimate, the kind of place that didn't have a sign out front. Jin led her inside. The host greeted him by name. They were seated at a corner table away from the windows. A waiter appeared. Jin ordered in Korean. The waiter nodded and disappeared. You didn't ask what I wanted, Maya said. I know what you like. You can't possibly know that. Jin's gaze settled on her. Spicy seafood stew, extra vegetables, rice on the side. You drink water with dinner and tea after. Maya stared at him. How? I pay attention. The food arrived. It was exactly what she would have ordered. Maya picked up her chopsticks and tried not to think about how deeply Jin had researched her life. Tried not to think about what it meant that he remembered her preferences. They ate in silence for a while. Then Jin spoke. Derek left the city. Maya set down her chopsticks. Where did he go? Portland. He has family there. Did you make him leave? I suggested it was healthier for him. How? Jin's expression didn't change. I explained the consequences of staying. Maya took a breath. I should be horrified by this. But you're not. No. Jin picked up his tea. Good. Why did you bring me here? Maya asked. I wanted to see you. You could have called. I don't call for things like this. What kind of things? Jin set down his cup. His gaze held hers. The kind where I want to sit across from someone and talk about nothing, where I want to make sure she's sleeping better, where I want to know if she's still afraid. Maya's breath caught. I'm not afraid anymore. Because of Derek. Because of you. Jin's jaw tightened. That's dangerous. Why? Because I'm not a good man, Maya. You protected me. I also put a man in the hospital. I've done worse. I know. And you're still here. Maya leaned forward. Yes. Jin studied her. You should leave. Go back to your safe life. Forget about me. I can't. Why not? Because when I'm with you, I feel like I can breathe. The words hung between them. Jin didn't move, didn't speak. Then he stood, pulled out his wallet, left cash on the table, more than enough to cover the bill. Come with me, he said. Maya stood, followed him out. They got in his car. He drove through the city streets without speaking. They ended up at his building, the underground garage, the elevator, the 20th floor. Inside his apartment, Jin closed the door, locked it, turned to face her. I shouldn't want this, he said. Maya stepped closer. Want what? You. Why not? Because everything I touch ends up broken. I'm not breakable. Jin's hand lifted, cupped her face. You're the most breakable thing I've ever seen. Then don't break me. His thumb traced her lower lip. I don't know how to be gentle. I don't need gentle. I need honest. Jin's other hand slid to her waist, pulled her closer. If I do this, I won't let you go. Then don't. He kissed her. It wasn't soft, wasn't tentative. It was decisive, claiming. His hand tightened on her waist and Maya's fingers curled into his shirt, and for the first time in months, her mind went quiet. When he pulled back, they were both breathing hard. This is a mistake, Jin said. Probably. I can't give you normal. I don't want normal. You don't know what you're asking for. Maya's hands flattened against his chest. She could feel his heartbeat, fast, unsteady. Then show me. Jin's control cracked. He kissed her again, deeper this time. His hands moved to her hips and lifted her, and Maya wrapped her legs around his waist. He carried her through the apartment. Bedroom, dark and clean and smelling like him. He set her down on the bed, stepped back. Last chance, he said. After this, you're mine. Maya sat up, met his gaze. Promise. Jin's expression shifted. Something raw and possessive and entirely uncivilized. Promise. Maya woke to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. She was alone in Jin's bed. The sheets were expensive. Cool. She sat up and realized she was wearing one of Jin's shirts. Black, oversized. It smelled like cedar. She found him in the kitchen. He was making coffee, still shirtless, still devastating. "Morning," she said. Jin turned, looked at her in his shirt. His expression didn't change, but his eyes darkened. "Coffee, please." He poured 2 cups. They sat at the counter. Maya wrapped her hands around the warm ceramic. "I have to go to work," she said. "I'll take you. People will ask questions if they see your car. Then I'll drop you a block away." Maya smiled. "You have an answer for everything." "Yes." She sipped her coffee. "What happens now?" "You go to work. I handle business. We figure it out." "That's not much of a plan." Jin's hand covered hers. "It's the only plan I have." Maya turned her hand over, laced her fingers through his. "Okay." They sat in comfortable silence. Then Maya's phone buzzed. She checked it. Her supervisor. Emergency at the hospital. They needed her early. "I have to go," she said. Jin drove her home, waited while she changed, drove her to the hospital. He pulled over a block away like he'd promised. Before she got out, he caught her wrist. "If anything feels wrong, call me." "I will." "I mean it, Maya." She leaned over, kissed him. "I know." She got out, walked toward the hospital. When she looked back, his car was still there, watching, waiting. Maya felt something settle in her chest, something she hadn't felt in a long time. Certainty. The ER was chaos. A multi-car pileup on the highway, 12 patients, 4 critical. Maya scrubbed in and worked for 6 straight hours. Sutures, stabilization, blood transfusions. When her shift finally ended, she was covered in other people's blood and exhausted down to her bones. She walked to the parking lot. Her car was where she'd left it. She got in, started the engine. A car pulled up beside her. Not Jin's black sedan, a white SUV. The driver's window lowered. A man leaned out. Asian, mid-30s, expensive suit. "My Rivera." Her stomach dropped. "Who's asking?" "Get in the car." "No." The man smiled. "It's not a request." The back door of the SUV opened. Another man got out. Bigger, tattoos on his neck. He walked toward her car. Maya's hands shook. She fumbled for her phone. The big man opened her car door before she could lock it. "Out," he said. Maya got out. The man grabbed her arm, not gently. He pulled her toward the SUV. "Let go of me," she said. "You're coming with us." "Why?" "Because Jin took something that doesn't belong to him. Now we're taking something that belongs to Jin." Maya's blood went cold. They pushed her into the SUV. The door slammed. The engine started. She tried to stay calm, tried to think. Her phone was in her scrub's pocket, if she could just. The man beside her took her phone, powered it off, pocketed it. "No calling for help." Maya's heart raced. "Where are you taking me?" "Somewhere Jin will find you, eventually." The SUV drove through the city. Maya watched the streets blur past, tried to memorize landmarks, tried to figure out where they were going. They ended up at a warehouse, industrial district, the kind of place that was empty at night. They pulled her out of the SUV, walked her inside. The warehouse was cold, dark, boxes stacked everywhere. The man in the suit led her to a back office, pushed her into a chair. "Sit." Maya sat. The big man stood by the door. The suited man pulled out his phone, made a call. "We have her," he said. Then he hung up. He looked at Maya. "Jin will be here soon. When he arrives, he'll make a choice. His loyalty to his organization or his loyalty to you." "I don't understand." "Jin took a shipment that wasn't his. 3 million in uncut diamonds. He gave them to a competitor. That's a problem." Maya's mind raced. "I don't know anything about that." "You don't need to. You just need to sit there and look vulnerable. Jin will do the rest." They left her in the office, locked the door. Maya sat in the dark trying to control her breathing, trying not to panic. Jin had stolen from his own organization. For who? For what? She didn't know, didn't understand. But she knew he'd come for her. An hour passed, maybe two. Maya lost track of time, then she heard voices, shouting, a gunshot. The door to the office burst open. Jin stood in the doorway, blood on his knuckles, his eyes wild. Maya. She stood, ran to him. His arms wrapped around her, and for 3 seconds she felt safe. Then he pulled back. Can you walk? Yes. Stay behind me. They moved through the warehouse, bodies on the ground, some moving, some not. Maya didn't look too closely. Jin had a gun in his hand. He kept her behind him, shielding her. They made it to the exit. Jin's car was outside. He pushed her toward it. Get in. Maya got in. Jin slid into the driver's seat. The engine roared. They peeled out of the parking lot. Are you hurt? Jin asked. No. His jaw clenched. Did they touch you? No, they just wanted to use me to get to you. Jin's hands tightened on the wheel. They succeeded. Maya looked at him, at the blood on his hands, the tension in his shoulders. What did you do? I made a mistake. What kind of mistake? The kind that gets people killed. They drove in silence. Jin didn't take her home. He took her to his building, up to his apartment. Inside, he locked every lock, drew every curtain. Then he turned to her. Pack your things. You're leaving the city. Maya stared at him. What? It's not safe. They'll come for you again. I'm not leaving. Maya. No, you don't get to do this. You don't get to pull me into your world and then push me away when it gets dangerous. Jin's control snapped. This isn't your world. This is mine. And in my world people die. I won't let that be you. Then tell me what's happening. Jin ran a hand through his hair. I stole from my organization 3 million in diamonds. I gave them to someone who's trying to bring down the people at the top. People who traffic children, who sell weapons to terrorists. I thought I was doing the right thing. You were. They don't care about right. They care about loyalty, and I broke it. Maya stepped closer. So we fix it. There's no fixing this. They want me dead, and anyone connected to me is a target. Then we run. Jin looked at her. You'd run, leave your job, your life. If it means staying alive, yes. Jin's expression cracked. You don't know what you're saying. I know exactly what I'm saying. You protected me. Now I'm protecting you. Jin pulled her into his arms, held her so tightly she could barely breathe. I don't deserve you. Probably not, but you have me anyway. They stood there in his dark apartment. 2 people who shouldn't fit but somehow did. We leave tonight, Jin said finally. Pack light, no electronics, cash only. Where are we going? Somewhere they won't find us. Maya pulled back, looked up at him. Promise me we'll be okay. Jin's hand cupped her face. I promise I'll do everything in my power to keep you safe. That's not the same thing. It's the only promise I can make. Maya nodded. Then it's enough. They packed. Maya called her supervisor and quit over a burner phone Jin gave her. She told her mother she was taking a travel nursing contract overseas. She left her apartment keys with the building manager and said she wouldn't be back. By midnight, they were in Jin's car heading north. No destination, no plan, just motion. Maya watched the city disappear in the rearview mirror, watched her old life fade into darkness. Jin's hand found hers, held tight. No regrets, he asked. Maya laced her fingers through his. Not one. They drove through the night, toward somewhere new, somewhere safe. Somewhere that was theirs. 3 months later, Maya stood in a kitchen that wasn't hers in a house that didn't exist on any map. The windows overlooked mountains, pine trees, snow. Jin came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist, rested his chin on her shoulder. You're thinking too loud, he said. Maya leaned back against him. I was thinking about the hospital, about my patients. Do you regret leaving? No, but I miss helping people. Jin was quiet for a moment. Then, there's a clinic in town, they need nurses. Maya turned in his arms. You looked into it. I pay attention. She smiled, kissed him. What about you? What do you do all day while I'm saving lives? I make sure no one finds us. That's not a life, Jin. It is if you're in it. Maya's throat tightened. We can't hide forever. We can try. She studied his face, the sharp lines, the scars, the eyes that had seen too much. What if we didn't hide? What if we fought back? Jin's expression hardened. Against my organization, that's suicide. You said you gave those diamonds to someone trying to take them down. What if we helped? Maya, you know where the bodies are buried. You know their operations. You could bring them down from the inside. Jin's hands tightened on her waist, and get us both killed in the process. Or we could save people, real people, kids being trafficked, families being destroyed. Jin pulled away, ran a hand over his face. You're asking me to go to war. I'm asking you to do what you've always done. Protect people who can't protect themselves. He looked at her. If I do this, there's no going back. They'll hunt us until one side is dead. Then we make sure it's not us. Jin was silent for a long time. Then he crossed the room, opened a drawer, pulled out a phone. If we do this, we need help. Real help. Who? The man I gave the diamonds to. He runs a task force. FBI, Interpol, people who want to take down organizations like mine. Maya's heart raced. You'd work with them. If it means keeping you safe and stopping the people who deserve to be stopped. Yes. He made the call, spoke in low tones. When he hung up, he looked at Maya. They want to meet, tomorrow. If we do this, we're all in. Maya crossed the room, took his hands. Then we're all in. Jin pulled her close. You're the most dangerous thing that's ever happened to me. Good. They stood in their hidden kitchen in their impossible house. Two people who'd found each other in chaos. Two people who'd chosen each other over safety. Jin kissed her forehead. Whatever happens next, we face it together. Together, Maya agreed. Outside, snow began to fall. Quiet, peaceful, deceptive. Inside, they made plans. Inside, they prepared for war. Inside, a nurse and a criminal figured out how to save the world one corrupt organization at a time. And when Jin looked at Maya with those dark, dangerous eyes, she knew the truth. She was safest the moment the most dangerous man decided she was his. And she wouldn't have it any other way.